Begin Podfix Network transmission. In 3, 2, 1.
Whether you're fly fishing in a stream, getting those ankles wet, or deep in the ocean casting nets, fish nerds. Fish nerds. Fish nerds. It's a podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Fish Nerds, the show about fish, fishing, and eating fish. I'm Clay Groves, Chief Executive Fish Nerd, licensed fishing guide, and your best friend. All right, it is National Podcast Posting Month, so you might be going, oh my gosh, we get a podcast every single day. What are we going to do? Well, what we're going to do is listen to them, and then you're going to participate. So we've been having some great participation so far. National Podcast Posting Month, NaPodPoMo, means every day we're putting a show out, and I love it if my voice is the least popular voice of the month. We had a great podcast yesterday about different flies to use in different situations, but didn't quite answer the question. So Jeff Danielson, our effing library, sent in a piece we're going to play in a minute, which actually does scientifically, using data and research, tell you no matter what the situation, what fly you should grab. He answers all your fly questions. If you want to get your voice on this show, the easiest way to do it is grab your phone and use the memo function and record your fishy tip of the month, whatever you want to share. It could be what fly to use. It could be how to cook a fish, how to clean a fish. It could be how to learn more about fish. Doesn't make any difference at all. And you're going to take that file and email it to Clay at clay@fishnerds.com. Super simple. You also can go to our website, fishnerds.com, push the microphone button, record right there, or you can call the Fish Nerds hotline, 607-378-FISH. So, without any further ado, here's Jeff Danielson, who I just adore, our effing library. He's our library. He's our effing librarian, Fish Nerds librarian, and he has the answer to all your fly fishing questions.
Hey nerds, Jeff the effing librarian here. It's a rainy night. It was a dark and stormy night in Overland Park, Kansas. And I'm going to chime in response to Donald's what fly to use recommendation. So this is a very complex formula that we use to determine what is the best fly to use when you approach a body of water. So the first thing you want to do is determine, is it a river, is it a stream? Big river or small stream? Is it a lake? Is it a natural lake? Is it a reservoir? Is it a farm pond? What's the water temperature? What's the clarity? What's the temperature outside? What's the air temperature? Is it cloudy? Is it sunny? What's the water temperature? Is there any wind? What species of fish are you going to be fishing for? And all of this we program into a formula to determine the fly that we want to use. And this is an extremely complicated formula that I have determined which fly to use in what is the best fly to use in every circumstance. And it comes down to this. So let's say I walk up to a small stream that's full of brook trout. The very first thing I'm going to tie on is a size 8 to 12 olive woolly booger. So let's say I walk down to a mountain lake and it's full of cutthroat trout. What is the fly that I'm going to use? The first fly that I'm going to use, a size 8 to 12 olive woolly booger. Let's say I walk down to a big river that's full of brown trout. I'm going to tie on a size 8 to 12 olive woolly booger. Let's say I walk down to Missouri Ozarks River that's got lots of smallmouth bass, and it's an overcast day with a light misting rain, winds from the southwest. That's going to be an olive woolly booger, size 8 to 12. That's the formula. That's what it puts out. Then let's just say I'm going down to a farm pond and it's full of bluegill and it's 98 degrees and bright and sunny. And it's like middle of August. What fly am I going to use in that situation? The first fly I'm going to use is a size 8 to 12 woolly booger olive. Let's say I walk down to a stream in the spring and it's just come up a little bit. It's in the Midwest. It's rained and it feeds out of a larger river or a lake, so there's going to be white bass in there. What fly would I use? It's going to be a woolly booger, but surprise change up, chartreuse in this case. But I bet an olive would work. So a chartreuse woolly booger size 8 to 12 is going to work there. So I think you see that this complex formula with all these variables in it always does predict the best first fly to use. And that fly is almost always a size 8 to 12 woolly booger in color olive with special mention chartreuse. In fact, if you were going to go fishing and you just had no idea what in the world you were going to be fishing for, if somebody's put you in a blindfold and put you in a vehicle and drive you around and say, okay, I'm going to dump you out and you got to catch a fish with a fly rod, and you're allowed to bring one fly box with 20 flies in it, I would pick a fly box that had 20 different woolly boogers in it in a variety of colors, about half of them being olive. Then maybe, let's say I'd have 3 chartreuse, 3 white, 3 black. That leaves us with 1 rando. So let's just say we'll have that one be the egg sucking leech, where you put it's got a bright pink head on it, so it looks like it's like a something eating an egg. And with those flies in various different sizes, I'm going to say if you went from about size 2 to about a size 12, you could catch just about anything you ever wanted to catch on a first pass. That would be my choice of fly, would be the woolly booger. Invented by Russell Blessing. There's actually, we can point to the exact time that fly was invented and the person that invented it, and he is to be held in the same esteem as Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison, Leonardo da Vinci, and other great geniuses who have contributed immensely to our society and world. So Russell Blessing, inventor of the woolly booger, you deserve the Nobel Prize in angling excellence. And again, the complicated formula of fly determination, depending on type of body of water, species of fish being pursued, weather conditions, water conditions, all that stuff. Yeah, it's going to spit out olive woolly booger. There you go. That's Jeff's fly selection tips for NaPodPoMo.
Thank you, Jeff. Just to recap, make sure I understand you correctly, you're saying that if I'm fly fishing, the fly I should grab would be a olive woolly bugger. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeff. I appreciate it. Very good job indeed. If you could do better, send it to me, clay@fishnerds.com. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Fish Nerds Podcast.
Whether you're fly fishing in a stream, getting those ankles wet, or deep in the ocean, casting nets, Fish Nerds. Fish Nerds. Fish Nerds. It's a podcast.
Just for the halibut!
Fried in a basket or broiled in a pan. Eat it raw like you're in Siam. Fish Nerds. Fish Nerds. Fish Nerds. It's a podcast.